This is it. This is it. Your career's on the line here. Do it. Do it. His place will erupt when he picks him up. He's got him up. Oh, hell yeah. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. We've got a new heavyweight champion. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous. I just had an out-of-body experience. What did we just see? What did we just see? He got him in a power slam! He got him in a power slam! He got it! Simmons got it! Simmons has won the match! Simmons is a champion!
I've always maintained that reality is for people who can't face drugs.
Shit is about to get real.
You get to sleep your knee. Shit.
Look at the stare of the champion against the challenger.
What?
And now, Straight Talk Society presents Wrestling with Reality.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport. The biggest match in pro wrestling history.
The two biggest superstars in our sport in the biggest event the sport has ever seen. The biggest match in the history of our sport.
Trying to run a little scalded dog here. Enough is enough. That's enough. No! Oh, God, that's enough! Stop it! Bam! Listen, it's tougher than a $2 steak. Who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Slam! Toe slam! Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Lucifer's lips on the biggest size in the WWE! Somebody stop this! Somebody stop the damn man! Enough's enough!
What?
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. WWE Dynamite.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time. Let's rock.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
So to escape from reality?
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I am reality.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Oh, it's live, pal.
Let the slaughter begin!
It is now time for
With reality.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Junior, look at this.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Number 1, to be the man, baby! You have to beat the man! Heavyweight champion of the world. The time is now. Reality has become the present, and the final lesson of the pain game has begun. Have you ever heard a joke like that in your life?
You are gonna wrestle my ass for the world title. You will have to kill me to keep me from killing you. Woo!
The 90s have been referred to as the reckoning with truth. In the 80s, everything was clouded. Nobody ever told the truth. In the 90s, the way to go is flat out. Tell no lies. That's the way we're gonna do it. When you hear something from our lips, truth it may be, and as much as it may hurt, you can count on it being exactly the way that it is.
We want the gold, sucker! Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga!
Oh, what is up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and we're back. Hey, it was quicker than 5 minutes, but we are back with episode 40 of Wrestling with Reality. And this will be the most sensitive topic that we've done. and that's why I wanted to separate it into two shows. I see MD is on the panels. Just wait for Venkat to get back. This will be the most sensitive topic that we've ever done because we will read the court documents. We're not going to read all 67 pages, obviously, but we will be reading the court documents and talking about some heavy stuff. Just a reminder to everybody, these are allegations. Nothing's been proven yet. These are allegations. So before you start throwing around things matter-of-factly, it's allegations. Some heinous stuff being said, but these are allegations. Shout out to the people that's watching over on Facebook. Even though I can't link the channel yet, I did post a link over on the Facebook page. Y'all make sure and like, share, and subscribe to. Welcome to the number 2, the Society, over on Facebook. I'm trying it again one more time. So if you don't want to hear about Grape and SA and just some downright terrible stuff, yeah, hey Chris, I thought about that. I thought about that, but I'll see, man. I've been doing a lot of talking, and I got 2 more shows coming up this week. If you don't like to hear about Grape and SA and just downright heinous stuff, this might not be the one for you. But we are going to be talking about a sensitive topic. Not sure where Venkat is, but MD is on the panel. What's up, MD?
Peace. Back at it again. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I know. I'm more concerned about Venkat more than anything, because he's so reckless, man. It's just like, and
Venkat warming up his hot pocket, man. You got to give him a minute.
he warming up his piece of chicken. And Venkat been waiting for a moment like this where he could just go to hell off on Vince McMahon. And so I know, tongue in cheek, a lot of people know, a lot of y'all don't know, but we have separate groups for any show that we do over here on the Straight Talk Society, just where we throw out different things. And when news of this first broke, like I had one specific thing that I stuck by, and it's gonna come out tonight, because even though I read through the court documents, my thought has not changed. So just so you guys know that, but I do see things a lot different now. So nothing in what I'm going to say tonight is going to be trying to absolve Vince McMahon at all. Because reading this, hey man, as a guy with a daughter, or for him to have a daughter, and it's just like the match that I told you that I want to review, No Mercy 2003, where he wrestled Stephanie. The way he wrestled that match was just so, I'm like, man, watching that again and reading all this stuff, all I'm saying is, like, it makes sense. I get it now. He wanted to do the angle where, there's Venkat right there. He wanted to do the angle where it was going to be found out that he was the father of Stephanie's baby. So it's like all that back in the day where you just be like, man, it's just storyline, even though it's terrible storyline, but you try to defend it. When you read stuff like this, you're like, I get it now. So I see where he's always been like that. So Venkat, I know you my real friend, so I know you won't do nothing to damage the channel, man. So just just try to hold your vitriol in some, because I know you.
Yes, sir.
And I know you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for this ever since March 26, 2002, when WCW went out of business. Was it 2002 or 2000?
2001.
2001. You've been waiting for something like this to break, huh? So
well, now you put it that way, yeah, I guess that's true.
How do you drop the link in WhatsApp though? I see MD. I don't know. Well, I guess I couldn't do it from the computer.
Yeah. Well, all you gotta do is just copy and then you just paste it in WhatsApp.
Well, but I can't do it from the computer though.
Okay, yeah, it's
Oh
cool.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you had already did it, so yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, and MD, just give me your give me your email so I could I'm sorry, I want to start emailing you the link because I don't really want to put it in the chat. Ricardo, the link is in the chat because I know you real worried. You really wanted to talk about this. But this link is for Ricardo because it's already 3 of us up here, and this is kind of lengthy. So I don't want this to prolong too long. What time is it?
Oh boy, we got Tape Fist Politics, TFP on WWR.
Oh, okay. I got you, MD.
All right, cool.
All right. So here we go. Before we get into the court reading, I just want to go over some things. I want to kind of do the timeline before we get into the court document because I can't have this in the court document up at the same time. Nurbomb says one thing this allegation concerns was $1 million about the stories. The rest of the 11 million given to other. Yeah, I mean, we gotta let Ricardo up. Man, this is crazy. So let's get in. Let's get into this. So Vince McMahon sex trafficking allegations. So and this comes from the Washington Journal, Washington Post. Which one was this? Wall Street Journal. Sorry. All right. So Vince McMahon sex trafficking allegations. A former WWE employee claimed Vince McMahon essayed her, including the use of sex toys that he named after wrestling stars in a shocking new lawsuit. So that's ridiculous in its own. Janelle Grant broke her silence about their relationship with disturbing allegations, including charges that the wrestling magnate defecated on her head during a threesome in May 2020 and sex trafficked her to other WWE executives, according to the complaint filed in Connecticut federal court on Thursday. Grant alleged in the complaint that McMahon sent her a text message in May 2020, which read, "I'm the only one who owns you and controls you. I want to F you." Her lawsuit comes after the Wall Street Journal reported last year that the WWE was investigating an alleged $3 million payment from McMahon to a departing female employee following a consensual affair. I remember all that. Grant, who was unnamed at the time, claimed she received an initial installment of $1 million, but no further payments afterwards in the new lawsuit. A subsequent investigation found that McMahon paid $14.6 million to several other women who accused him of sexual misconduct. All right, because before we get too far, let's start right there because I don't want y'all waiting too long. So far, what you got on what I just read so far? We heard back in 2020 about the allegations of the $3 million payout to the former employee. Didn't know the name of her, and now
was it 2020 or 2022?
2022.
Okay.
And now you see other monies like 14.6 million paid out for the same thing. So just off the strength of that alone, this is why God, this is gonna sound bad, but this is why I advocate call girls. I'll just leave it at that. So what do you guys think on there before I go too far?
Go ahead, Ricardo. No, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Ricardo.
Go ahead, MD.
No, don't get tight lip now.
I'm not gonna get that. I want to hear.
No, because go ahead.
On this, I want him to go and say his piece because it's going to be a lot. Because I was on her side until something clicked in the.
And that's how I feel because people aren't privy to our behind the scenes conversations, and I eviscerated this young lady. I did, and I still
why? But why would she get any kind of vitriol for this
We gonna get
situation.
into that. See, I knew
Because
that's
she,
what. That's why. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why I deferred to Van Cat because I
So
knew we were gonna
let
get
me
into
read the let me finish
Yeah.
reading the story then.
Yeah.
Let me finish reading because I see where this is going.
Yeah.
She still deserves some of the blame because she accepted the money. That I'm not clearing her of that, but this guy is an animal. But let me finish reading. I'll say so. Grant was unnamed at the time, claims she received an initial $1 million installment. Hey, it was all good when I was getting that money, but no further payments afterwards in the new lawsuit. A subsequent investigation found that McMahon paid $14.6 million to several other women. Okay. According to the lawsuit, McMahon's use of sex toys on Grant caused her injuries such as bruising and bleeding, the Journal reported on Thursday. McMahon is also alleged to have shared nude photos and explicit videos of Grant without her consent with other WWE employees, according to the lawsuit. He once locked her inside his private locker room at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and forced himself on her over a massage table, the complaint said. The WWE boss is also alleged to have directed Grant to have sex with other executives and a wrestling star, the lawsuit claims. John Laurinaitis, oh God, I just don't like this guy. John Laurinaitis, WWE's former head of talent relations, who is named as a defendant in the lawsuit, was allegedly recruited by McMahon to have sex with Grant. Grant was told by McMahon to visit Laurinaitis in his hotel room where she had sex with him before work days. It was alleged in the lawsuit, and one encounter at WWE offices in June 2021, McMahon and Laurinaitis forced themselves on her and took turns restraining her for each other. It was alleged in the lawsuit. No means yes, and take it, bitch. Were among the things McMahon and Laurinaitis said to Grant during the alleged assault, according to the lawsuit. In July 2021, McMahon told Grant to create sexualized content on her phone and send it to Brock Lesnar, a former UFC star whom the WWE was trying to sign at the time. Last July, federal law enforcement agents executed a search warrant and served a federal grand jury subpoena to McMahon, according to the regulatory filing. WWE said in the filing with the Securities and Exchange Commissions that while government investigations into McMahon remains ongoing, no charges have been brought in them. The company said it has received voluntary and compulsory legal demands for documents, including from federal law enforcement and regulatory agencies concerning the investigation and related subject matter. In 2022, WWE formed a special committee to review allegations of misconduct against McMahon and said in a statement, the review was concluded in November 2022 following an extensive investigation. McMahon said that throughout the experience, I have always denied any intentional wrongdoing and continue to do so. I am confident that the government's investigation will be resolved without any findings or wrongdoings. Last year, Endeavor, the talent agency run by Ari Emanuel, completed a $21.4 billion merger with WWE. McMahon is also alleged to have shared nude photos and explicit videos of Grant without her consent with other WWE employees, according to the lawsuit. The WWE boss is also alleged to have directed Grant to have sex with other executives, the lawsuit claims. All right, I got more, but let's stop there because there's a lot of reading. All right. Whew. Oh, shout out to Cowboys for life. If I think I know who that is. Cowboys still suck, but nevertheless, shout out anyway. All right, who wanna attack this?
So yeah, I think I should go first because, like I said, Ricardo and Van Cat gonna take the bulk of the time. I'm not. It's atrocious on both sides, in my opinion. That the acts that are being alleged is diabolical. That's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Both sides are who? Laurinaitis and McMahon, or McMahon and the woman?
Hey, Vancat, man, let the man get his stuff out.
No, I'm asking because he said on both sides. I want to know which sides he's talking about.
Okay. Let me clarify. When I say both sides, I'm talking about the acting parties that are being alleged in the heinous act, whether that be McMahon, Laurinaitis, or combo. Then the other side would be the person that accepted these acts to be placed upon them and then accepted money through NDA. So that's what I mean by both sides. I can't get no clearer than that. So what I'm saying is the acts in themselves are heinous. No question about it. On the other end, the acceptance of the acts being placed for monetary settlement in and of itself is also heinous. Now, y'all know me. I don't think from a social aspect. I always put stuff in legal parameters. Legally, if she signed the NDA, it's binding until it's breached. Now, I'm pretty sure we're gonna go more in detail about what that entails, blah blah blah. But from a legal aspect, based on what she's alleging, Vince McMahon breached the NDA based off non-payment. That's just what it is. Whether you think that she should be accepting money or not is I can't determine that from a morality perspective. All I can do is accept it from a legal perspective in which the alleged NDA and the terms were being upheld. You got to uphold it on both sides. When you sign an NDA, you're signing an NDA based on a specific confidential information being upheld to your ability for whatever reason. It could be for nothing at all, or it could be for monetary gain, like this is reporting. So if in fact Vince McMahon stopped paying her, that would breach the NDA. Now here's a situation where a lot of people are not talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this on another video. They got what you call legal commonality.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say hypothetically, and we don't know if other NDAs are out there with similar allegations against McMahon and confidential information being disposed in said NDA. If this goes on into like a civil case or whatever the situation, even criminal, if it goes on to be proven that the breach happened based on an illegal breach of contract through legal commonality, there's a situation where by default, all other NDAs in a similar proportion will also be null and void. So this might just be opening up a whole can of worms that go way, way deeper down the rabbit hole. But that don't take away from both parties just being atrocious in the matter of the act. So that's all I say. Y'all have at it.
Go ahead, Ricardo, because I know Vancat gonna be like the longest. Go ahead, Ricardo. Go ahead.
So MD kind of stole my angle as well, which I am glad he brought on. We can't think of it from the morality point of view because it's going to be in the court of law. So because they brought it up into that situation, you're going to have to look at it from the context of what if you bring it into the courts. What is the court going to be angling the whole situation on? And it's based on if it was a binding contract. The fact of the matter is a contract it could be verbal, it could be written, it could be, transactional, whatever you want to call it. There was a contract. Someone breached the contract because allegedly somebody might have released this before that or ahead of time. And it's now in the media. Here we are. So we're now here. My thing about this was and this is why I can't stand how society is now. So I was on the alleged victim side. So I was like, okay, it's Vince. Because, we, whether or not we want to say it or not, we've all been skewed towards Vince at some point in time. So when I heard the story, I'm like, all right, probably it might be true because it is Vince we're talking about. But then when you read into the context of the whole story, you're like, wait a minute. Now, I can't give the alleged victim a pass because you kind of did do an agreement. So it's a contract. So if both and again, MD is right, both parties are complicit, and I can't give either one a pass in this situation. So I can't give her, oh, woe is me, victim card. Ooh, I can't do that, because you signed something or you agreed to something and it's transactional. You didn't have to participate. You could have said, no, I didn't want to do that. I did not. No one's forcing you. You're an adult. This is my problem with the whole thing, where the media's trying to do this whole, witch hunt thing. She is an adult. She could have easily said, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or she could have went to, a higher authority or someone and say, listen, this is what's been transpiring with me. I need to reach out to somebody I'm so and so. But you're being paid. So when you're getting paid for something, it means that you're going to be putting out. And I hate the way it sounds, because don't get me wrong, I know everybody's going to say, how dare you, but again, you're going to have to look at it from a legal binding context. They're both adults. If you bring this to the courts, they're going to say both were participants, willing participants. At some point in time, it stops somewhere in terms of transaction. So if there was a non-disclosure agreement, who didn't upheld their part of the bargaining portion? And at this point, is it null and void if there are others out there? So then, yeah, MDA is correct on this. We got to look from the legal, and I stress this, from the legal point of view. If this is brought to the courts, how is the courts going to look at this? How are they going to then go down, the format of who did what, who did who, and all of that. And then from there, we can then go for it. But then, I'm just going to say this. I was on her side up until reading what I read and what Trevor just read part of it. And you're going to then, from that context, then go from there and then say, all right, this is what my verdict is. But if from a moral and from a legal point of view, that's how you're going to make your decision. It's a tough one, but it's tough. Now you can go ahead.
I got, before Venkat, I got just 1 minute.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question by Nurabon.
Yeah. I know, and Nurabon say you got to go. Nurabon, do like me, just watch it in the background. I'm watching Dynamite right now. Just watch it in the background. But real quick, this is how I read this, because at first, you guys know how I eviscerated her, because I just saw it as another money grab witch hunt until I read I read through the documents today. Today on one of my breaks, I was reading through the documents. I'm like, oh crap. But it still doesn't absolve her part for taking the money.
No, it doesn't.
And we're not talking about somebody that's being, we got to stop acting like we're talking about somebody that's being held down and tied in the basement.
Correct.
This is somebody that willingly accepted to have an affair with a married man.
Correct.
And you take what you get from that. Now, this is where we're going to separate the morality from the legal. Morally, yeah, what I read in there and some of the stuff that I am going to read is horrendous. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I got a friend right now doing a show on another channel. Shout out to In-House Conversations with Harold. He's doing a show right now on BDSM. So we're not going to act like people aren't into this stuff. I brought it up, like, how come nobody was mad at Biggie when he said he took a crap on the girl? It's like we got all this anger. We got all this anger towards Vince because we all don't like Vince. I get it. And I get it. And I'm not absolving Vince, but what I am saying is she was a willing participant. I didn't realize until I read the document all the gifts, because they had to itemize all the gifts that he gave her. And she accepted.
The
she didn't turn them
gift
away.
cards.
She didn't turn them away.
It's a gift.
So that's the problem. None of this would have happened. And I feel like this, you call me a monster, whatever. None of this would have happened if he would have made more payments after that $1 million payment, and he wouldn't have just been like, I'm not paying you anything. So before Venkat jumped down my throat and tell me that I'm a terrible person, listen to what I just said. Morally, I think what he's doing morally is wrong, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, hey, she accepted this. And how many women are accepting this type of behavior from these men that they get with? You're messing around with a married man. Why is there no moral? Why is there no moral compass when it comes to that? It's okay when she's messing with the married man, but the minute the married man gets aggressive with her, now you want to, crucify the married man. That's all I'm saying, man. Keep it consistent. Go ahead, Vancat.
One point before Vancat go, and I agree with everything you just said, Trevor. I think initially she did accept to be in a sexual relationship with Vince. The question would then become to what extent.
There we go.
And that's what we're trying to figure out. Real quick before Vancat go, Nearbomb made a great point. If her attorneys can prove that she was coerced into signing the NDA, that's a whole different argument that actually can be criminal, because that's a criminal offense to coerce somebody to do, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of angles we can go with this.
Yep.
But go ahead, Vancat. The floor is yours.
Hey, Vancat, just try not. Remember, we got more stuff, so just try not to. I know you want to rail. Go ahead.
Let's go, Vancat.
Should I play the soapbox? Should I play the soapbox music?
Oh Lord, no, you don't need to. I think you guys are dead wrong on a lot of things. Atrociously wrong, to be honest. There's so much. Like, my mind is like racing to different areas where to start with. A couple of things. Her age. How old is she? Because one place is saying at the time she was 41. Another one says she was like 21. How old is she? Another thing, we're trying to act.
Still legal. Still legal, though.
No, that has not. Again, you guys keep going way over there and not seeing things for where it needs to be seen. That means nothing. But a 21-year-old is a hell of a lot different than a 41-year-old. And I don't care if you're legal or not. When you're 21, you have a different mind than when you're 41. The other thing is, Vince McMahon is this powerful, rich, connected guy that's intimidating by nature without the money. And you know how he could be. He could be very commanding. We don't know what those interactions were, but it's very easy to see her being subservient to him, her bowing down or taking whatever he's given. When you keep talking about her signing up for this and blah, 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 and taking the money. First of all, it's a difference between signing up for alleged romance with a person versus taking it to that next level that is taken. We're talking about physical abuse. This woman had to be, by Vince McMahon, sent to the doctor because of bruising, because of bleeding, because of abuse. He was very, I guess he was doing his own fantasy thing where he was very dominant on her and whatnot. And let's get back to the genesis of this girl or woman, whatever, right? Why are we not talking about the fact that she recently had lost her parents before getting involved with Vince McMahon? Both parents.
We gonna get into that.
No. That's where you start.
Really?
And that's where you start, because she lost both parents. She's, according to, because I'm hearing 21, I'm hearing 41. If she's 21, she's younger, has a certain mindset. Now she lost her parents. She lost her home. She's hard up for cash. She's like, oh, here's a guy she didn't seek him out. The neighbor that she talked, right. And then she led to that. And she may have been like, oh, I'm down to having some escapades with him. But then as it got on, it escalated.
Favors is what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
That's a crime. So she solicited sexual favors.
So she's being
let him finish though, man, because I don't want him to interrupt me when I go. So
no, go ahead. I'm done.
No, finish.
Go ahead. Finish. I'm done.
because you know they can't. They hey man, this is a hot button topic, man. I want to make sure you're done. We gonna get into the losing the house and all that. But I would just ask you this question: do you know anybody that's lost their parents before?
Now here we go again. What you doing?
I'm just asking.
Listen, man.
I'm just
you're
equating.
He don't
know how to answer questions.
No. You're equating things from different standpoints. Again, every human being doesn't walk the same walk. Every human being doesn't have the same experience, the same mindset, the same tendencies. I'm saying would it be me? No, it wouldn't be. Hell no. But that doesn't mean I can't understand how it can get there. And if she was in a fragile, vulnerable state, right? It damn sure didn't need to be all that extra that McMahon did with her. It seemed like there was a point. Look, she was being thrown in offices, being assaulted then, and then he would leave and do the show and whatnot and come back and do more. Come on, man. It was almost like she was a prisoner at times when you hear the different aspects of what was going on. When you hear the aspect of he thought so little of her, and this is why the issue is here. He thought so little. Forget the dumping part. That's just one symptom of the mindset that McMahon had, that you are such an afterthought that I'm going to squat. But time after time after time,
a lot of people
constantly showed, huh?
I said a lot of people do that.
Kinks up there.
Whatever. Whatever. Time after time, he just had very little of anything for her, and then he went ahead and said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $3 million." Paid $1 million. The last time she got paid was February of 2022. That is why you're hearing about this. So she got crapped on. Okay, now she's being demonized for taking the money. She went through all what she went through. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm not going to do nothing. I'll just honor the NDA, which it seemed like that was forced on her as well, which sounds consistent with McMahon's demeanor. So she did all those things. And then after going over a year of not payment, at this point, what the hell is going on? So this whole issue is due to the blatant disrespect that Vince McMahon had been doing to her for every angle, every moment that he had to honor anything between them. He was never interested in even acknowledging her as a person that mattered. So you go a whole year. Go ahead.
I just want to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I agree with everything that you're saying, but it goes back to the extent. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Can you agree that at least initially she did accept some form of a sexual relationship with Vince McMahon in the beginning?
But I started off my whole thing saying that, right? She signed up for him,
whether it was through desperation or whatever. Right. We know it's a situation where it could be like, hey, like I really need this job. You know, if I let you do the grandpa hump and get it over with, you know, that's a lot of women think that way. Like, I'm being honest.
Oh,
but it goes back to the extent on how deep did the rabbit hole go in terms of his sexual perversion.
And the other thing that we have to examine as well, this whole thing about Vince McMahon being a married man, that's a joke in itself, right? Because him and Linda are technically on paper, yeah, they're married, but they are not like to that extent. And it's been like that for years.
But legally, they're still married. So
come on, Trevor, really?
Here go Venkat now. Here go Venkat. I want y'all to realize what's going on. Here goes
you believe somebody dusting Linda?
Here he go now,
right? I think that Linda McMahon and Vince McMahon
on his white horse now. And he
anyway, so I believe
the home wrecker. That's what he about to do.
Lord.
I could care less about. I really could care. I don't care about that. I'm just saying that Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon seem to be more of mainly business in name. But not a real.
You can't assume that, though.
You can't assume that. It does not.
I'm not assuming that. Those are reports that's been going on.
They live in.
But again, that does not even matter. I don't know why even that even matters.
That don't matter.
I'm just saying, you're just trying to make it seem Okay.
That don't matter. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, hell no. He ain't going. When y'all say something, he want to be quiet. But when I'm saying something, he keep trying to cut me off. Hell no. That does not matter, Venkat. Even if, as long as they were married, you're not going to sit here and absolve the home record. You absolve the home record. You're not going to do that. You got to be.
I don't see how she's a home record.
Be consistent with it. At least be consistent.
Well, if you're consistent with it, you're talking into a point where she's like the one and only. She could be one of 10, one of 20. And as far as the NDAs, there's probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. So let's not act like, oh, home record is not. And again, how was she introduced to the situation through McMahon? Yeah, I'm married, but this not really. How do you know that? You don't know that yourself.
How do you know that's what was said? You imposed that.
I'm not imposing anything.
You made that up just now.
The report. No, I didn't make anything up.
The report never said that he was like, oh yeah, I'm married and this.
Not that report, but the reports of all throughout the years is that Linda McMahon and Vince McMahon are not really like that. They're not really connected in that way. They're just operating thoroughly for business purposes. But it's a known thing. Wrestlers are saying, oh, we know Vince has this girl, that girl, this girl. This is a known thing. And as far as the RA part or SA part, I mean, there's a 40-year-old case with Vince McMahon, and the lady in great detail talked about what he did. It's very similar to what we're hearing here, but whatever. I think that you guys bend the knee and try to be a stepping stool to oppressors, and I just don't get that. I'm not gonna give an out. I just don't see how you can give an out to the heinous things that happen. Every issue in this moment is because of what Vince McMahon did. And she is not initiating any of this stuff. She is completely reactionary.
Venkat, not to
go ahead.
No, not to, because we all know, for all we know, Vince is a scum, and it is what it is, because he's a man of power. So absolute power corrupts absolutely. I get where you're coming from. My problem is that is when you brought up the Stockholm syndrome with the victim. Now, if it's a case where she was desperate, and we all know the situation, I'm still saying she still has to be accountable, because you got to look at it from the point of view of, okay, so yeah, you were desperate in that moment, just like MD says. So I'm just gonna, and I hate to say this because I'm going to let you do whatever you need to do, and then that will be the one-off. But then we don't know what transpired after that. So again, it's a hyperbole at this point. We're not absolving him. Again, he could be a scum. For all we know, he's a pig. Whatever names you want to throw at him, it is what it is. But it's the Stockholm syndrome that you brought up, where you said, "Oh, but how do we not know that? We don't know if she could be 21 or 41." That sounds like Stockholm syndrome. So you're saying the victim had no ways of speaking out. She had no outlet to go to when her parents.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that if she is younger, and in the picture that's used, she looks very young. And if she is younger, it's a difference between dealing with a person that's 21 versus a person that's in their 40s. By the time you hit your 40s, you've experienced things in your lives. You're a lot more wiser than you were. When you're in your 20s, you could do some foolish stuff. That's all I'm saying. You got a rich, powerful guy with influence, and how do we not see this going there? I'm not justifying her book. You are. I'm not justifying that, but okay, so I'm justifying it, but you guys turning around and trying to take the heat off of Vince McMahon and not acknowledging.
See, that's why I know you're
not. No. You don't get to say. You don't get to say. You don't get to say. You don't get to say that I am enabling the victim, but somehow what you guys are doing is not what it is.
That's how I know
if you have blame to be cast, it's not even 50-50. It's more like 70-30 or 80-20. It's Vince McMahon driving this issue from point 1 to point 10.
Is it 30% still wrong though?
So now we're like
answer no questions. No questions. Like
I'm trying to figure out what is the end game to this. Like we're gonna give it out to a guy that has a history. This is not a one-off issue, and there are multiple people that have issues with this guy. And the fact that this is not a case, this particular case did not happen in 2008, 95, or 83. We're talking 2022, starting from 2019 to 2022. That is even more outrageous with the past allegations that he had on top of that. So I don't see how the justification would be, oh, well, she's a hoe or whatever. Whatever. That hoes gonna be hoes. That's not the issue. The issue is a guy exploiting a situation and making it way over the top. And to give him any leeway or leverage, it's just wrong. It's short-sighted.
But
hey, let me clarify. Let me clarify real quick. I'm not instituting the fact that he's married. I don't care about none of that. All I'm saying is you have to give equal blame based on the act in itself.
There you
through
go.
Self-degradation or whatever. That's all I care about. I don't care. The infidelity part. I don't care nothing about that. Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, and I can't agree with that part. I feel the same way. I don't even know why this marital part is coming up. That's like a non-issue.
Well, Trevor brought that up.
The thing is,
I just want to clarify. I don't got no part with that.
Cool. It's a big difference between a fling that's equal versus this whole extra bull that it came to be. The trafficking, the crapping, the passing her around like a part. That is exponentially evil versus two people that are like, hey, we're cheating on whoever with whatever. That is completely two different worlds. And like to equate one and the other is just short-sighted. Short-sighted to the fullest.
So just say your morality is what's at play here, correct?
It had nothing to do with my morality. I'm completely clearly seeing what's going on. I can look at a situation and objectively say, okay, leave that out, and then just judge it for what it is. Forget the whole, oh my God, the purity of the world, and get over that.
I don't care how this guy just will not just dialogue with me without constantly having to cut me off.
Go.
It's insanity. I asked you a question because everything you brought up, you said, oh, I'm not even looking at two people cheating on each other. I'm looking at the fact that he's passing her around and he's doing this and he's doing that. So it becomes a moral issue for you, correct?
Partly so, not 100%.
That's all I asked. All right. So we're going to get into the PDF, but I wanted to move on now that we let Venkat get that out of his chest. Let me ask y'all a question though, because this is so funny to me. If y'all didn't like me, and I know Venkat don't really care for me, he made a diss track for me that I want to hear. But if y'all didn't like me, would y'all hang on to my every word just so you could listen to every single thing that I do?
Well, it depends. If I'm looking to one up you or make sure that you're wrong, then yeah.
It's clearly you have the hitters that are doing that now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's niggas he hanging on to my every single word, saying that if Vince McMahon was black, I wouldn't be feeling this way. I'm telling you, I know exactly who this is, but I don't want to insult a whole race of people, so I'm not gonna do that. But just know that I know who it is, and you're too much of a coward to show your face. But anyway, so let's move on to the Slim Jim. We definitely gonna get to the who is this ghetto ASMR exposed? Oh boy, you just giving Venkat more ammunition, huh? I think so I'm gonna say this before I move on.
He killed Owen Hart. We already know that.
I think with Venkat doesn't like the fact that I always say this: hot and cold water comes out of the same faucet. And when we started, I said that what the man did is heinous.
Yep.
And it's crazy. I said that off jump. All I said is that, hey, I'm not absolving her either. Because if I'm going to make it a morality issue, then she's wrong for messing with a married man. That's all I'm saying.
And all we're saying as well, Vancat, is that you still have to hold her accountable. Either way, the court is going to say the same exact thing that we're actually seeing live on here right now. The accountability still has to be there. Like, when no one, like, again, he could be a scumbag. He could be whatever names you want to throw at him. We all, from watching wrestling, we all know who Vince McMahon is. At this point, the media knows, and they're going to do whatever they want to say. But what we're saying is, it still doesn't absolve the fact that she participated. You're still a willing participant. You still took money. It's still a binding contract. You still did all of those things. So when you go into the court of law and you put all of this dirty laundry out there, and you're trying to do the Me Too movement thing and whatnot, again, they're going to dissect every piece of wording that you put out and what you stated in terms of the events. And then they're going to say, okay, well, weren't you a part of this? Weren't you a participant? Didn't you accept money? Didn't you accept the gifts? Didn't you take the trips? Didn't you do? At what point in time did you reach out to advocates or somebody or a relative and say, hey, this is what's happening to me. I'm being abused. I'm being trafficked. I'm doing whatever. And hey, I need your help. Or did you go to the authorities? Did you do that? That's where they're having to prove that now, or she's going to have to prove this is what,
So, Ricardo, when women are in abusive relationships and they stay in those relationships and they get beaten and beaten and beaten year after year, decade after decade, never said anything. That was just one woman that happened to, right? That wasn't something that could be seen across generations, over the years, multiple women from different backgrounds, different religions, different ethnicities that happened to. Again, you guys are doing these things that make no sense when you make it seem like everybody in the planet is either this way or that way. There's so many different types of people. Things hit people a different way. Something that could make a person crumble and fold will probably make another stronger and more determined. Everybody don't have that in them, and I don't expect that. I understand that. There are different mindsets in the world. And I can see a person like Vince McMahon with a person that's already fragile and messed up as with all her problems. And I could see how that got exploited to that degree. And it just went way over.
All could see
I agree with that.
And I concur with him as well. I said I've been seeing this from the beginning. He could be a scumbag. We don't like. I can only say what I've read and from what I've known or what I've heard through the media outlets. I don't know Vince personally, so I can't go like, okay, he's this way. But I could go based on what I've seen, heard throughout the years, what the media is telling me, what I could perceive in my mind, and all of that. I'm not saying, and again, because you brought this up, for all those women out there that have been in a situation like that, where it's you're being coerced or you're being stuck in, or listen, if you're out there and you're in a situation where you know you need help and whatnot, I'm not saying, because everybody's situation is different, and I agree with you. Everyone has their own way of dealing with things. Everyone has their own way of if how you act, Vanka, is not how maybe MD is gonna act, or how Trevor's gonna act, or how I'm gonna act. But at the same length and breath, it's gonna be a morality, or it's gonna be illegal, and that's where you have to put the two and then dissect based on that the facts that's there, and how that's what we're doing. That's what we're stating the facts of what is being presented. It's the same thing now because it's being brought to the courts. So that's how we're looking at it. It's not about I feel like Vince is, and again, Vince could be whatever names you want to bring up. You're going to go by what is being told, what has been expressed, what has been brought about. And then from there, you could either go from a morality point of view or from a legal binding point of view. And that's what we're trying to dissect. Because again, when the story broke, I was on her side until I read the documents that were presented. I got to go by what is presented to me and how it will be dissected based on a legal point of view. Because I guess when I was doing law, I had to go from that angle. So that's why I stated what I stated. But not to state from your angle, I agree with you with what you're saying. I'm just saying how it's going to be presented in the courts is how I'm doing it based on. I'm not doing it from.
Hey, watch this, Van Cat. Hey, Ricardo, let me ask you a question. If your boss assaulted you at work and then told you not to say nothing and offered you $3 million, would you take it?
No, because again, I'm an adult. So
I'm a millionaire at that point, sir. If I have to do that,
Van Cat ain't got no integrity when it comes to this.
I'm a millionaire, sir.
Listen, and that's
at that point, I could move away. I could blah blah blah. I don't have to deal with them no more. I get it's different people have hit different ways.
But that's you, Van Cat. You could choose to take the $3 million. For me, I'm gonna be like, listen, I could choose and go and get another job. Like you assaulted me, I'm gonna hit you back. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's how I look at it. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. You're my boss, but then you're not above me. You see what I'm saying? You're indispensable. So I'm not gonna look at it from, I'm going to take the $3 million. I could win that. For all I know, I could do a scratch off by leaving the job like 2 hours later and win $750,000. I'm good with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody's
some battles. You have to pick and choose those battles, man. Some of those.
That's what you said. Everybody's in a different,
Exactly. And that could change week to week, month to month. It just depends on the moment in time. Hey, quick question here. So this alleged scenario happened from 2019 to 2022. When was the Me Too movement? Wasn't that like, I want to say
that was during COVID.
Yeah, I'm saying Me Too movement, right? Was that happening like when all those idiots were?
It was during the pandemic.
Yes. Yeah. So there are two things, right? First of all, they're gross. You got COVID going on, and we're not even doing regular sex. We're gonna do that supernatural, over the top, brown dookie sex. And then you have Me Too movement going on. Examples of people exhibiting the same type of behavior where they're just over-imposing their will on women and some men too, because Terry Crews says he was assaulted as well. So you have that mindset of people getting put in jail. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Weinstein, all these guys are getting called out. And this is happening in real time. And at the same time, Vince McMahon is doing that. So that tells you the level of the ego and the way he thinks that he's above everything. He's bigger than everything. Look, he had to leave in 2022 when the allegations all came out, right? He left. 6 months later, I'm back, niggas. That mindset that he has, that's what he's about. Like, I'm bigger than everybody else. You can't tell me what to do. I'm God, is what he's thinking.
But it sounds familiar, right? Birds flock together. So I mean, his friend was the same way when he became president. So
I think Trevor to move on, man. He done switched to the Slim Jim.
Man.
All right, go ahead. Go.
Man. All right. Let's damn, you know, made me lose my track. And we probably ain't gonna finish this. And I already told the Man Talk Monday crew we probably gonna have to pick this up over there. All right, so let's get to the Slim Jim deal. So Slim Jim to pause their sponsorship of WWE in wake of new Vince McMahon allegations. So I'm gonna just go through this stuff and then we'll pull up the court documents. Slim Jim, this is from Slim Jim. Slim Jim values integrity and respect in all our partnerships. Given the recent disturbing allegations against Vince McMahon, at this time we've decided to pause our promotional activities with WWE. And this was the day before Royal Rumble. This decision reflects our commitment to our brand values and responsibilities to our community. We will continue to monitor the situation and base our future engagements on our values and what is best for our brand. So upon hearing that on January 26, 2024, Vince like, oh no, Let me get out of here. So Vince McMahon resigns, and this is directly from Vince. I stand by my prior statements that Mrs. Grant's lawsuit is replete with lies. So he's denying it. Obscene, made up instances that never occurred. And it's a vindictive distortion of the truth. McMahon said in the statement, I intend to vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations and look forward to clearing my name. However, out of respect for the WWE universe, I can't even read this with a straight face, the extraordinary TKO business and its board members and shareholders, partners and constituents, and all of the employees and superstars who helped make WWE into the global leader it is today, I have decided to resign from my executive chairmanship of the TKO board of directors effective immediately. Okay, so real quick off of that, when TKO bought WWE, there was a clause in the contract that it was basically like a moral clause that if he did anything that shined the light, he could never be ousted unless he did something that shined a bad light on the company. So this was their way out. He's saying he resigned. I think Ari Emanuel called him and said, hey, you got to get out of here. I don't think he wouldn't have resigned for nothing. I think Ari Emanuel said, hey, listen, hey, we got this clause, we can push you out. It's best that you just walk away. Well, what do you guys think on that before I go forward?
Anyone?
Oh, everybody quiet now. Okay, I'll move on.
Me personally, I believe that the Slim Jim advertisement money was too great for even Vince. If he was independent on this, that he would see the writing on the wall to bring that money back. That's just me personally. I know Vince's ego is huge and all this and that, but this type of situation he's never faced throughout all the stuff that he's been through. It's never been where actual money and like I said, you know, maybe y'all know of a situation, but it's never been a situation where big time money was being taken off the table directly from him. You know what I mean?
They've lost sponsors before though.
I mean, again, based off of what I saw at the Rumble with the Slim Jim promote, and you know, this is a new phenomenon. You know what I mean? I understand sponsorships, you know, so on and so forth. The product placement that's been going on recently, the last couple of years in WWE, we ain't never seen nothing like that.
The pizza, eating the pizza.
The Pizza Hut and everything. Yeah, and they had the Negro Xavier Wood come out with the. I remember all that.
Lord.
So the product placement and the amount of advertisement money that they get now is leaps and bounds what normal sponsorships was back in the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression. This is big time money. And I think, you know, it was a situation where even if he was independent, he would have still been forced to resign.
Yep.
Based on the amount of money that was being taken off the table. Like this is new level advertising.
So you think Ari pushed him out then?
I believe Ari did push him out, but again, even if we weren't in the TKO era, I still believe
that he would have left.
Vince would have left based on the massive amount of money that was being taken off the table by Slim Jim. I have to go off there from a business acumen. You know what I'm saying?
I agree as well, because it's just like the case when Diddy had you know, the whole allegations came up with him and his ex-partner and Ciroc and Vodka decided to like leave. It's like you have to choose your battles. At some point in time, you know, it's either you're gonna walk away or you're gonna sue. And if you know the allegations are stronger than you think, you're either gonna settle, which I think in his case he probably would have settled with Slim Jim, but I doubt it, because if the allegations are that strong, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it is a duck, then I'm sure his advisor is gonna be like, listen, Vince, just hit the road, because it ain't gonna work out in your benefit at this particular point. So you're gonna damage more, so bounce.
So and it would have been a domino effect.
Pretty much.
Because it wasn't going to stop there.
it just keeps snowballing, and it's just gonna just look like a ridiculous, So
Venkat, what do you think? You think Ari Emanuel pushed him out?
Oh yeah. And it's a no-brainer. Why would you allow a liability like that? I think before any of these allegations, they wanted him out. And they were probably like, "Oh, thank God, we get him out right now."
exactly.
Yeah, I
mean,
believe
be
that. Yeah,
honest.
I absolutely believe that.
That I agree
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
But that's why they're saying he took the deal with TKO, because remember the Saudis was offering him a cash deal, but he took the deal with TKO because they allowed him to stay on as in the emeritus seat, and he just
Which is crazy in itself, right? You got all this money you made. Go off and live your life. No, he's egomaniac.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Everything is power. I need people to be subservient to me. I need people to see that I am the guy calling the shot. Come on, get off that already, dude. You're like,
let's put our tinfoil hats on real quick. Is there a possibility that this could have been an inside job?
There you go. I'm glad MD somebody said
that somebody tipped them off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be hard. This idiot is sharing it with the tech department. He's sharing it with wrestlers. He's sharing it with damn near referees. Friggin' the massage guy. Everybody, he's like showing pictures, telling stories. So that wouldn't have been a hard job to do.
But this, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, doesn't it sound similar to what Diddy did as well, where he was sharing things with the other rappers that are in the industry, and people are like, "But why would you share that kind of thing? Like that's the person you're intimate with."
Because that's the egomaniac in them.
So again, absolute power corrupts absolutely, because you're in control of something. Like
100.
So you at some point, like if you're doing something in private, then that's different. But in the age of digital footprinting, I mean, you gotta know your battles. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never understand why he did what he did. But again, what do we know?
But that's a good point you're saying there, Ricardo, because again, the generation disconnection between the current technology and how things work. Like, he's an older guy. He really ain't. Look, he misspelling words and saying all kinds of goofy ass things, trying to be all cool in the text. Come on, man.
Remember what movie was that? I believe it was either Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, when the company came in and bought Wayne Tech, and then they created the scandal to push him off the board. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a situation where, like I said, tinfoil hat now. It could have been a situation where somebody at TKO allegedly could have maybe talked to the young woman and said, "Hey, look, we got this situation going on, and we need to figure something out.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Can we convince you to work with us a little bit? Tinfoil hat.
Yep.
And just think about, I mean, and I'm not saying he's connected in any way, but why the sudden departure of Kevin Dunn?
Very true. Very true.
Because I mean, we know that those two are connected at the hip. So, hey, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, hey, either he knew something was up and he was like, man, hey, I can't be a part of this, or he knew something was up and he was like, hey, I got to get the hell out of here. Hey, we don't know. But so after Vince retired, he needed to retire. Slim Jim. So on January 27th, Slim Jim issued a statement. Slim Jim's returning as WWE sponsor after Vince McMahon's resignation. WrestleVotes reported on Saturday that Slim Jim is back. This was right before the Rumble as a sponsor of tonight's Royal Rumble event, and will be continuing its sponsorship on future WWE shows. So this is from John Pollock. John Pollock is one of the only wrestling guys that I actually listen to, him and Sean Ross Sapp. So a statement that was issued to him on Twitter after the departure of Vince McMahon and the discussions with TKO senior leadership, Slim Jim has decided to re-enter the Royal Rumble. So I So I'm trying to. I mean, I know WWE is a gigantic company, but for Slim Jim to pull back and then go back so quick, I'm just saying, like, what did they have to gain from that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what notoriety? What? Okay, so what I'm saying is, what would they have lost not being at the Royal Rumble?
So let's ask you the question, Trevor. Do you eat Slim Jim?
No.
Does anyone on the panel eat Slim Jim?
Nah, I don't eat pork.
So the question, like, again, what did they have to gain out of all of this? I would never know, because Slim Jim, the product placement is you literally being bombarded every time you watch something related to WWE. So again, who is eating Slim Jim out there? Is there a demographic? Is there something that we don't know in terms of like
A lot of people eat Slim Jim.
So Trevor was asking the question, like, what did they have to gain in terms of like coming back that quickly in after, saying, oh, we're gonna, and all of a sudden then it's like 2 days after or whatever we're gonna sign back with WWE.
One day after a couple of hours.
There you go. What did they have to gain?
I mean, product placement.
Or is there
you know what I mean?
A board of the director probably going to be going on to WWE? I don't know. Again, use your tin hats here.
Hey man, you will be surprised the magic of advertising. You'll be surprised. It works, especially when you got millions of people watching the program. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna knock it. I understand it. To be a sponsored advertisement on a WWE show, it works magic. You know what I mean? And Slim Jim fell off for a long time, and they back now. So I can't fathom it in terms of eating a meat stick. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean,
no, you did not.
I prefer. Pause. My bad. Pause. Trevor stupid. But yeah, man. Hey, it is what it. Hey, I prefer Jack Link. They got a beef alternative. So there you go. Until Slim Jim get a beef alternative, it don't matter to me. But I get it.
Oh, all right, Venkat. And I'm queuing up this court doc now. What you got on Slim Jim coming back so fast?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, that it exposed a lot of problems, very problematic for me, that money could make everything just change. When it came to the individual cases of people, again, Vince McMahon has a 40-year-old case on him with video of the woman talking about exactly what he did and how he did it. I even put it in one of the videos that I uploaded, one of the first videos on Straight Talk Society. That's some crazy stuff that all the anguish and problems and controversy. It seemed like Vince McMahon goes from one controversy to the next, and none of that did it. But like you said, he was the controlling body, and now he isn't. So that has something to do with it. I recognize that, but it's wow. Slim Jim says money gone, and everything just tightened up within a matter of hours. And that's so jarring to me to see that.
I'm trying to scarf down my dinner real quick. So, all right, I got this.
What's on the menu?
I got some curry chicken and rice and peas.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good menu.
Yeah, that good stuff. Go ahead and say something, MD.
I like rice and peas.
I'm shocked. Yes, shocked today.
Hashtag I like rice and peas.
All right, so let's get into this. What you call this? A deposition. Let's get into this court document. Y'all, I'm gonna disappear for like 2 minutes. So Venkat, just go on and hold it down as I get right back.
All righty. All right, so this is the deposition here from Janelle Grant. And oh my God, MD knows more about this than I do. But plaintiff Janelle Grant by and through her undersigned counsel, hereby files that complaint against defendants World Wrestling Entertainment. Oh my God, World Wrestling Entertainment, not just Vince McMahon, and Vincent Kennedy McMahon and John Laurinaitis, alleges as follows. Plaintiff Janelle Grant is a former employee of WWE who was a victim of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE. Ms. Grant is filing this lawsuit not just to address her own suffering, but also to act for those who are afraid to speak out. WWE's billionaire founder and executive chairman, defendant Vincent Kennedy McMahon, lived in a penthouse duplex in Miss Grant's apartment building. The two met in March of 2019, when Miss Grant was dealing with profound grief and struggling financially. After devoting years to around-the-clock caregiving of her parents that passed. I'm not going to go further. Any comments on that introductory phase of the deposition?
Yeah. Let me comment on that real quick. This goes back to a point that you made, Vanka, and I agree with it. It was no secret to nobody that Vince and Linda have been separated for like years. So to me, the argument that Trevor was making in terms of the infidelity, like it's like nonsensical, really, to me, because Linda was living in the McMahon, I'm assuming estate, mansion, whatever, and Vince had moved out and was living in a condo in Connecticut, like for years. You know what I mean? So that goes back to your point that you were making. I don't see where the point of the marriage even like holds a candle in terms of the entirety of the situation, because I mean it was a known fact throughout the company that they were separated. So that's how this whole thing started, because he was living in the penthouse suite and she was living in an apartment down below, and that's how it all started.
Yep. Introduced by one of the, I think the landlord or neighbor or something, who's the one that told her, you know what, you might want to meet Vince McMahon. He may have something for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And also see here's the thing, because I'm as you reading that, I've been reading into the they actually have the WWE handbook in PDF form, and I got it. Had she would have been legally savvy enough to understand what was going on, there's a particular point in the handbook. I just want to read it real quick. It's only a couple of sentences. It says,
Yep.
as part of this commitment, WWE is dedicated to providing a work environment that is free from harassment, whether the harassment is premised on sex, race, sexual orientation, age, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So some examples of this prohibited conduct in sexual harassment, one of them are, now check this out. It says the grant or offer of an employment quid pro quo for personal intimacy. Had she would have been smart, if her whole goal was money oriented, as we all agree that it is, had she would have been smart, if she would have just picked up her employee handbook, she would have saw that you can't hire me based on sexual favors. That's against code of conduct policy. I know it's Vince, you know, there's art, like Vince don't, you know, he's superior over the handbook. I get it, but it's still there. And based on policy of the company, it's legal. It's illegal what was done. Had she would have been smart enough, if the whole purpose was to do the grandpa hump, she could have been right, ma'am, thank you, ma'am, right there. Hey, you just committed in a code of conduct policy of distraction in the handbook. It says it right here. But you know, that's me being overly legal. So I just wanted to point that out.
That's a good point. Hey, Ricardo, what do you think here?
All right. So if we're gonna go by what the document says, again, we have to like go by either it's morality or it's based on legality. So again, if you're with a contract, because I keep bringing up a contract, if it is a contract could be either verbal, it could be written, it could be, there's multiple ways a contract could be agreed upon or voided. So it depends on what, and if there was a WWE handbook, which most companies or conglomerates probably would have had anyways, that they follow in terms of detailment and whatnot. If it does stipulate in there that you can't have such and such and you can't do such and such with your boss or whatever, that's where we're gonna have to break down in terms of legal aspects here. Was there something that was violated? Was there something that was voided? What transpired? What led up to? All of that has to be accountable for. So it's still about the accountability on both sides. I have to be impartial because we're looking at it from a legal point of view. So again, I have to hold both Vince and her accountable. Now, not to say not that again, not to say that Vince isn't a scumbag and all the things that we could describe, because I should assume by now, and I shouldn't assume, but we all know how Vince is, or we, based on what we've seen in terms of the show and all of that. So, again, Vancat has made it clear, like, it still doesn't take away from the fact that he was the main person in charge here. He has the money, he has all of that, the stuff to facilitate. But she took the said upon funds, and it stopped at some point in time. So when it stopped is when it became a problem. So if we're gonna go by that, when it stopped, and for what particular time frame it stopped, why is it now that all of a sudden, years after the fact, now you're now saying, hey, I think he was doing such and such, or I was the victim in such and such, or this is like, it's going to be a problem where the courts are going to have to prove. So it was a transactional thing, and because it stopped, now it's a problem. So where does the issue come about? Like,
well, Ricardo, that is the issue. The fact that the money stopped, according to, and like I said, we haven't seen the NDA, so I'm not gonna project anything on the NDA. But how NDAs work is that you're committing to disclose certain information, and I'm giving you something for that. If you stop giving me what I'm supposed to get, that's literally a breach of the NDA. Like, literally. So if she was supposed to get $3 million and she only received $1 million, that NDA becomes null and void. So she can say whatever she want to say. Now that's up for her attorneys to prove that through transaction. But that's literally breaching contract. Not on her side, but Vince's side. He breached the contract.
Yeah, and on the craziest aspect of this all is that the $3 million that she was originally supposed to get is going to pale in comparison to what she will eventually
end up getting. Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it could have been vice versa. It could be vice versa. If Vince can prove that she wasn't supposed to disclose that and can prove the transactions were according to schedule, then she would be held responsible for breaching the NDA. So it's all about who can position themselves legally in a civil suit to prove breach of contract. That's going to be the fight.
So I think
right now she's in breach of contract, because right now nobody can prove the money aspect, but she's spilling the beans in terms of what was supposed to be disclosed. So technically right now she's in breach of contract.
So what I was reading about was they were saying that the increments of payment was supposed to lead up to like, I think 2 years or something like that, a 2-year period or a 3-year period. And again, February of 2022, that was the last time she got any payment. So she went the whole year of 2023. And now we are technically February of 2024. So that's 2 years, man. And she should be wrapping up or finishing the $3 million payout. And she got one payment, and that was it. So that it just goes to show like she's such an afterthought, and he is such an egomaniac in the way that he thinks that he's like, oh, whatever. I'm not even. I'm. If you could take a dump on her, and by the way, if you're gonna take a dump on somebody and have to endure that, I damn sure better get paid. I'm sorry, I am not walking away from that experience and not getting my payout. Thank you.
Listen, whatever floats Vince vote, you know, it's up to him.
And one more thing I want to say about that dumping. First of all, I didn't like the way that people didn't go right into that, because that was like subject number one to talk about. It took a while for people to get into the nitty gritty of what the hell was in this thing. And I don't know why. Because when I saw it, I immediately boing. So, but this is the other thing. So when I heard threesome, I'm like, oh, I guess Vince McMahon had two women. No, it was the massage therapist dude and Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon squatted on her, which she was not aware was gonna happen. Boom, it happened. Vince McMahon got up, said, I'm gonna go take a shower. Massage therapist guy, keep nailing her. They continued while the feces is on her for over about 30 minutes to an hour. And that is some crazy stuff right
that's
there.
sicko activity.
Yeah.
Sicko
I mean,
activity.
and again, what does it say? It says
he has
power over people. I make you do this. I make you feel a certain way. You know, it's all about me having the power over you so that you can do what I want done. It's classic Vince McMahon.
I enjoy.
Hey, how far
did
y'all get in the I heard you read in the deposition. How far did you get?
This is on your slide, so I can't control that. We're on the first page.
I'm like, damn, can he control my screen? Okay, so you only got to the first page. All right.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
It turns me on. I enjoy destroying lives. It turns me on. I enjoy destroying lives.
Well, that didn't age well.
No, it didn't.
And by the way, Chris Jericho is wrestling for a Ring of Honor title now.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yeah.
Tony Khan really don't care.
So it's 67 pages. Ain't no way in the hell we can get through 67 pages. I had a little sticky note with some pages written on it, but I don't know where it is. So but what I did here, so page 2 goes on to say, on top of that, she was unemployed and her family home was lost in her parents' bankruptcy. After the family passed away, Ms. Grant dedicated herself to finding gainful employment. Neighbors in her building provided career advice and sought her assistance for personal events. Ms. Grant used these non-paying roles in volunteer work and community initiatives to build her resume. The building's resident manager wanted to help. She messaged McMahon to ask whether he could talk to her. So so that's who set this up.
Pretty much.
Sharing that Mrs. Grant had been through some hardships and would do great things if given a fresh start. Absolutely. McMahon enthusiastically responded, hell yeah. So it goes on to say McMahon befriended Ms. Grant, giving her hopes of a new life with promises of yet to be determined role in WWE and showering her with attention and assurances, along with gifts like a VIP experience at WrestleMania. Hey, get that VIP WrestleMania package. But what seemed like a dream in the spring of 2019 quickly became a nightmare.
Pandemic.
As McMahon dangled career-making, life-changing promises in front of Ms. Grant, he demonstrated an increasing lack of boundaries. During several meetings, there were ostensibly about a potential job at WWE. He greeted her in his underwear, touched her, repeatedly asked for hugs, and spent hours sharing intimate details about his personal life. So he was pillow talking. McMahon wanted Miss Grant to keep their closeness a secret, lest rumors lead to public trouble. And he added, while he protects loyal people, he had world-class legal resources on speed dial to deal with people who became a problem. Oh, wow. As such, when McMahon pushed Ms. Grant for a physical relationship in return for a long promised employment at WWE, she felt trapped in an impossible situation. Okay, so that's her wording, though. So let's not, again, like him coming to the door in his underwear and stuff like that, totally unprofessional. I mean, just ridiculous. McMahon's sexual demands are facing ruin. So Ms. Grant feared she had everything to lose and face negative consequences no matter what happened. So there you have the initial meeting, the opening. She felt that he was being forceful, and she was between a rock and a hard place, literally. So rather than kick rocks, she just decided to go in. And again, I don't know how old she was at the time. It doesn't say. And I know people use that a lot, that hey, a young mind versus an older mind. I get all that. So after succumbing to a pressure for a physical relationship, Ms. Grant was slotted into an entry-level position as an administrator coordinator, a position created for her in the WWE legal department. Damn, he put of all places to put her, he put her in the legal department. Man.
The irony is not unseen.
That's crazy. Like that Ms. Grant began work in the role in June 17, 2019. Ms. Grant remained in that role with the exception of a temporary relocation to the XFL until McMahon verbally directed her to transfer to the talent relations department, reporting to defendant John. Oh God, so he put her to work directly with John Laurinaitis. During a conversation the same day, McMahon explained to her presence in the legal department was effectively delaying efforts to hire a new general counsel for the company. McMahon and Laurinaitis informed Ms. Grant that she would be promoted to vice president of operations in the talent relations department, providing her with an organizational chart reflecting the decision. Wow. All right. So it goes on line 15 in March 2020. So right as COVID hit, McMahon began sharing explicit photographs and videos of Ms. Grant, including pornographic content he recorded with other men, both inside and outside of the company, including with members of the television production truck. See that? Hey man, that's where was Kevin Dunn working? I mean, I'm just saying,
in the production truck.
Producers, a world famous athlete and former UFC heavyweight champion with whom WWE was actively trying to sign to a new contract. Cain Velasquez, but given McMahon's omnipotent position at WWE, so godlike, that's what Van has termed him as. Correction was inherent in his increasingly depraved sexual demands. Specifically, while McMahon was CEO of WWE and Ms. Grant was employed as an entry-level coordinator in the legal department, McMahon recruited individuals to have sexual relations with Ms. Grant and or with the two of them, directing Ms. Grant to visit defendant Laurinaitis prior to the start of work days for sexual encounters, and expected and directed Ms. Grant to engage in sexual activity at WWE headquarters, even during working hours. All right, what y'all got? I'm gonna move down. Because there was something that I had highlighted.
She got in too deep. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like literally and physically. You know what I mean? It's an oh man.
I enjoy destroying lives.
You sure?
And there you go. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, she knew what she was getting into. You know, I can't.
It just doesn't work for me, brother.
Oh man, and
I
that's
know.
fine.
Now you're gonna kill you with the voice notes. Now
he gonna soundbite me to death. I got it. It's cool. But again, I agree with a lot of points that Van Cat made. But you can't get around it, Van Cat. You just can't. She knew what was going on to a certain extent. I'm not one to say what that extent was. I don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know. We'll never know until the civil case starts, if it even comes down to a civil case, where the red line was. We just don't know that. But
So,
I'm at least go ahead.
well, I just want to ask. So, do we feel like this is going to turn into a criminal case at some point?
Unless he settles.
Unless he settles, or like I said, if there's a possibility that there are more NDAs out, and if her attorneys can define legal commonality, then you might start seeing criminal cases, because it's going to be too many of them.
Let me let me read, because I want to ask Venkat something about the criminal. All right, I want to read this real quick. In June 2021, McMahon and defendant Laurinaitis sexually essayed Ms. Grant inside of Laurinaitis' office in WWE headquarters while colleagues were busy at their desks. I didn't even know John Laurinaitis was still with the company at that time. Behind the locked door, the two men cornered her and pulled her up in between them, forcibly touched her before ultimately putting her on the table in between them. She begged them to stop, but they forced themselves on her, each taking turns restraining her for the other while saying no means yes, take it, bitch. Now, I mean, there's some homosexual tendencies here that you want to be so free to have sex in front of other men.
And let's not talk about the black aspect, that fascination of, oh my Lord, we won't put many black guys on that title and put them over, but we'll put them over any other way.
Hey, you know, Martin Luther King is his favorite person, though, just so you know. Unsurprisingly, others at WWE knew what was going on, but instead of intervening to protect Ms. Grant, WWE actively sought to conceal the wrongdoing. In January 2022, McMahon told Ms. Grant that his wife had found out about their relationship. Okay, this is where it gets to the NDA. Purportedly to avoid divorce, so they were still married, negative publicity, and other repercussions. McMahon said that Ms. Grant's time at WWE was at an end. So he China'd her, basically. But that he wanted her to sign an NDA to ensure her silence on, among other things, his personal misconduct. In the days ahead, McMahon put Ms. Grant under immense pressure to sign, saying that refusing would not only jeopardize McMahon, his family, and the company, but that she'd surely become a public headline, suffer reputational ruin, including from the pornographic material McMahon had captured, and face McMahon's legal recourse.
They go to intimidation tactics.
Conversely, McMahon reassured her that her signature would ensure his continued support and protection and safeguard her reputation. Ultimately, Ms. Grant succumbed to the pressure and signed the NDA in exchange for payments, which McMahon later stopped. So, all right, what you got on that?
Go ahead, MD.
I'll say this. we don't know. See, we're talking a lot about what the deposition says. Yeah, we're talking a lot about what the deposition says. We don't know what the actual NDA said. For all we know, the NDA may not have any of these things listed in the in the agreement, because you do know, and see, this is where you got to be legal eagle.
Is it binding on?
If I well, but the thing is, this is the thing, you know, Ricardo. If I shoot and kill somebody, and you standing right there and next to me, and I tell you, hey, I shot and killed this guy. Don't tell nobody, though. Matter of fact, sign this NDA so you can not snitch on me, and it's legally binding. It's not legally binding because I committed a crime. If you commit a crime and ask somebody to sign an NDA to disclose said crime, if the lawyer can prove it, it's null and void, because you can't disclose information on a crime. According to what this deposition says, Vince McMahon allegedly committed a crime. This ain't no information that just, okay, don't tell nobody such and such. We don't know what's in the NDA. I'm willing to bet that the NDA don't disclose none of this stuff that we're talking about in this deposition. It may disclose some stuff, say, hey, look, I sent you maybe a D pic or two. Now that you can disclose, don't say anything about that, or don't send that to nobody. But I'm willing to bet probably 90 to 95%. The stuff that's being accused in this deposition is not in that NDA. So based on what we know and based on what she knows, the NDA in itself would be null and void if we were to assume that the stuff that's being in this deposition is there. I don't think it is. I just think it's like some trivial stuff, to be honest with you, because you can't form an NDA under the auspices of somebody not telling details of a crime. These are crimes. If what the deposition says about what Vince and Laurinaitis did on that table, that ain't nothing that you're supposed to disclose. In fact, if you disclose it, that's a crime in and of itself. So these are the angles that you got to take in dealing with a lot of this stuff. That's all I'll say about that.
Hey, real quick, Chris Jericho just pinned whoever this Ring of Honor champion is with Powerhouse Hobbs and the Jackal at ringside. And Jeff Samuel says, I think Tony Khan is racist. Powerhouse Hobbs is now a manager. So there you go. Chris Jericho still racking up wins, brother.
It's amazing.
Let me read on. What time is it? Oh shit, it gotta be done soon. Let me all right, there was something else wanted to get into. Non-party. Yeah, this thing is so long, man. If y'all just type in, Vince McMahon, Janelle Grant,
you might well get to the good stuff, man. Get to the text messages, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see what page I had it on. I had a little sticky note that told me all the pages that I should go to.
You guys, when you get a chance, you should listen to Jim Cornette. My God. I only heard some of it, but it's interesting.
Yeah, see, now I'll start listening. Oh, so all right, McMahon tightens his grip on Miss Grant and discredits her doctor, replacing him with one of McMahon's choosing. So, all right, by fall of 2019, McMahon frequently pressed for porno videos and more explicit content. When Miss Grant expressed apprehension with his requests, McMahon responded with assurances that she could trust him, or questioned why she didn't trust him. McMahon also took care to remind Ms. Grant of his power and influence, such as by flaunting a meeting with the Saudi crown prince in 2019. That's sweet Saudi money. So in addition to her panic attacks, Ms. Grant began experiencing increasingly severe physical and mental and emotional symptoms, including sleep disruption, dizziness, exhaustion, rashes, weight loss, hair loss, and migraines. In 2019, Ms. Grant informed McMahon that her doctor suggested her symptoms stem from trauma and ongoing stress. McMahon mocked her McMahon mocked her.
Master manipulator. That is the friggin'
my ass.
Oh my God.
However, on November 20th, 2019, McMahon insisted that Ms. Grant see a physician of his choosing.
Of course he did.
The physician is referred to herein as a celebrity doctor, and the facility that celebrity doctor operated from is referring to herein alternative clinic. McMahon and celebrity doctor assured Ms. Grant that her bills at alternative clinic would be taken care of under McMahon's account. After the initial visit, it became apparent Ms. Grant that McMahon and celebrity doctor wanted Ms. Grant to remain in the care of the celebrity. So yeah, let me get to the let me get to the
destroying lives.
Stuff. McMahon. Okay, so here's the major thing. McMahon recruits other men and forces Ms. Grant into trafficking. So In May 2020, McMahon had recruited an individual whom he'd manipulatively referred to as his friend to engage in a threesome with McMahon and Grant. The friend turned out to be McMahon's physician, his physical therapist at Alternative Clinic, and is referred to herein as physical therapist. Man, he liked to be with a lot of men. To induce Miss Grant's participation in the threesome, McMahon began referring to Miss Grant as his girlfriend and sent her a large bouquet of flowers. Nevertheless, on May 8th, 2020, Miss Grant expressed apprehension about participating in the threesome. In response, McMahon insisted that the plans were already made and suggested he would lose his friendship if she did not go through with it. Man,
the manipulation, man.
On the day of the event on May 9th, 2020, Ms. Grant showed up to the condo, but reiterated that she did not want to go through with the act. She expressed fear of being thrown around like a rag doll by McMahon and physical therapist. After Ms. Grant clearly stated that she wanted to back out, McMahon responded by telling Ms. Grant for the first time that he loved her, stunning her into silence. Man, I want y'all to know that who's listening, this is like her account of what happened. So this ain't us saying this. This is what she filed in court documents. This ain't coming from us. McMahon's manipulative tactics resulted in the outcome he wanted. That's Stockholm syndrome, and he led her down the stairs to the bedroom where the physical therapist was already waiting to begin the threesome. Early in the encounter,
that's not
early in the encounter, McMahon immediately directed Miss Grant to lay down on her back in a supplication position while straddling over her. Man, McMahon defecated on Miss Grant's head. McMahon left the shower,
destroying
but
lives.
He instructed Miss Grant to remain in place with increments in her hair and to continue performing for his friend. While Miss Grant requested protection, none was offered. McMahon and physical therapist actively continued with the threesome and directed Miss Grant's sexual performance for around an hour and a half while she was left covered in feces.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute, Trevor. So
it turns me on.
She got defecated on, and she worried about sexual protection afterwards.
Yeah.
I enjoy destroying lives.
Oh, man, this is crazy. All right. So following the threesome on May 11th, McMahon sent an explicit message to Ms. Grant to further detail his fantasies of seeing her engaged in sexual situations. So here's one of the text messages. I love it. Thank you, Janelle. You just can't get enough, can you? In the future, it's going to be so bad that you'll demand to be smashed twice a day and not just in a three-way. Why not let others see that beautiful, voluptuous body and watch you shaking uncontrollably when you, man, they'll go out of.
Man say smash.
Yeah, no, I put in smash.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he used that word. I put in smash. When cheese
turns me on.
They'll go out of their minds. Then I'll find more friends and we can tie you up so you're helpless. I'll direct them to have their way. Oh man, you'll be covered in cum and we'll make you eat it up and taste it. Yeah, I can't read.
I enjoy
it just
destroying lives.
Let me see. Here's another regarding your last picture. You need your panties ripped off and 3 big black dicks in all 3 holes at the same time.
It turns me on.
Yeah, this and the thick. I can't, like, I'm trying to pick out stuff that's like halfway decent. It feels from the start like you're being assaulted, but it made you come nonstop. Just one. All right.
I enjoy destroying lives.
Me reading these, because I'm not going to read any more of these, but what this seems like with him constantly saying that she's coming and things like that, it come off to me like he believes that that she's turned on by this.
Right.
That's what it comes off as. And you know, and I'm not saying it's her, so don't be like, oh, see, there are women that like this stuff, and that's what his text messages. To me, he come off like a naive man that what he's doing is actually somehow pleasurable to her.
Well, most sociopaths,
it turns me on.
You know, and like I said, I don't have any evidence of Vince being a sociopath, but I know what I see. You know what I mean? Hey man, it's beyond me at this point.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah,
I can't.
mean,
I can't.
I'm beyond compare. I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know what I mean?
Lord.
First of all, this man is in his 70s at this time.
Yeah.
Let's just put that on the table first. You know what I mean?
Jim Cornette talked about that too.
He ain't no spring chickens. I don't know, Lord.
You know, I mean, I know Vince has been in incredible shape for a long time. But man, hey,
Roids.
All I can say is, you know, from a libido aspect, I hope I'm like that when I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
You get 70. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to make light of the situation, but you know, man.
Man. And nobody's gonna talk about the fact that he has a fetish about black men and listen, I it's so cringy. Like, listen, if whatever floats his boat, whatever you're doing, in your bedroom, that's up to you, Vince, and whatnot. But it's just the idea that all of these come out, and it's like it doesn't help the case with all the things that he said previously, whether it be in sound bites or whatnot. So it's not going to age well. So the only thing I will say, and I'll say just this, is that people have different variations of what, because I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word on there, Trev, but people's gratifications is one thing, but it's the description in terms of how it's detailed. If this is her account of what's transpiring in all of these things that came about, and again, did he hold a gun to your head? Did he do, you know what I'm saying? So these are stuff that they're going to have to analyze. I'm not saying I agree with anything that's being done, but I'm just letting everybody know in the context of how, if it's going to go through the court of law, they're going to go through every detailment of what would be or what happened or how did it come about? Why did she then, allow him to do that on her? And why was she a willing participant in all the other times? In terms of, her being, because we're looking at the accounts. This sounds like from the start of 2019, then we went into the pandemic, which would have been March of 2020. And then 2022, he decided that he was not going to continue with her being on the legal side, and she's now a part of talent. And then he's made her sign. So did he force you with a gun to sign the NDA? Or, because it sounded like he forced her to do something, but what is the force? Was it like he held his hands around your neck? You know what I mean? Like, so that's where I'm like trying to figure out how, in the correlation of all of this being said from her accounts, because it's not Vince, it's her saying this. When and how, in terms of a timeline, did he do anything malicious in terms of forcing you to do this? And if so, again, where MD says, where would it be binding and non-binding, and would it be non-void if there are other people? Because if she has other people that she could then say, hey, Brittany and Brenda and Tina and the rest of them were all complicit as well, so hey, we're all a party here, there's a smoking gun, then you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's gonna be the whatchamacallit, the binding aspect that will then get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm trying to figure out what is it, something that she was forced to do in terms of like it was malicious, it's a gun, a knife, or something. That's where I'm trying to figure out from the angle of where she presented this. How did it?
Well, she don't have to be forced. She can be coerced. Coerce is a crime as well. It don't have to be anything physical. Coercion is a crime. We just don't know how she was coerced.
And then
Yep.
yeah, you're right. And then I still don't understand, if you were part of an organization, didn't she participate in the essay what you call it? Because you know what I'm talking about. You have to participate in the essay thing where they tell you like this is not acceptable, this is where you're not supposed to. Like, do they not have that in WWE? All that is where I'm like, but then again, he's in control of the company, so his egomaniac side is probably like what's the push and pull here. Because I don't understand how you are.
I enjoy destroying lives.
The gratification in all of this is where I don't get it either. Like, you get all these other people involved, like the masseuse and I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, let me go back to the point. I think Ricardo, you made that point about the parallels. It's downright almost scary, the parallel between Vince and Trump. Just going back to what Trevor was talking about with the Stephanie angle. Trump did the same exact thing with Ivanka, the same exact thing. And this was pre anything that we knew of their public relationship, Trump and Vince. Like, the parallels is scary if you really think about it.
Work together.
Yeah, I wanna read some of these gifts, but MD brought it up again. I will be doing a watch along. It's not gonna be a watch along because I'm gonna actually just record it and then post it. I'm gonna watch that No Mercy 2003 match, Vince McMahon versus Stephanie, just because I watched it yesterday, and that match, if you watch the things he did in that match, you'd be like, man, this man is like, to his daughter. And like I said, they were going to do the angle where it was found out that he was, the daughter of her child. So he was always down.
The father.
Yeah. The father of her child. So I just figured like this would be perfect for me to try my editing skills on this video. So look out for that in a couple of weeks. But I do want to read these because it's almost 10 o'clock, man. And I do want to read some of these gifts. So looking at these gifts, I would lean more to Venkat, where he thinks that she's probably was younger, like in her 20s, just because like some of these gifts is not something you give to an older woman. Like stuff like this don't excite 40-year-old women. So gifts given the plaintiff during the time with WWE in association with McMahon, and this is on page 46, line 232. I mean, it's a lot. Examples of items received by Ms. Grant from McMahon in 2019 included the following: alternative clinic medical care and medical and cosmetic services and products. So that was from his celebrity doctor. Clubhouse access tickets to the Belmont Stakes, WrestleMania private full day transportation and premium tickets. Like the audacity that he'd be like, hey, this is a good enough trade off for this. A $2,000 Nordstrom's gift card, and the one that just got me tripping, a massive box of Godiva chocolates. That's something you give
also the 15,000 in Bloomingdale's gift cards.
I ain't got to that line yet. That was just the first line.
Yes.
That was in 2019. So now example of items he gave her in 2020 included the following: $20,000 towards surgery paid directly to the surgeon's office. Pearl diamond paved lariat necklaces from Betteridge in Greenwich, Connecticut. Just so y'all don't know, Betteridge is where they made the $1 million title. Blue cashmere knee length cardigan, blue Burberry check cashmere scarf, blue cashmere and fur hat, gray cashmere shawl, Celine sunglasses, cable knit throw blanket. So like this is childish stuff, like women that want their Birkin bag. Large bouquet of flowers delivered approximately every other week. Examples of the items she received in 2021. So now the gifts get better. A 2022 BMW 430 Xi. I don't even know what that one looked like. A $5,000 gift certificate at Lanfear Spa 2 private chef catered dinners in McMahon's condos, golden diamond paperclip necklace from Betteridge and Greenwich, $15,000 Bloomingdale's gift cards, food assortment displays, an antique tea ceremony set from Saudi Arabia, and large bouquet of flowers delivered approximately every other week. So it says, so this is an interesting line 236. It says, Miss Grant was a subordinate and vulnerable victim to predators, not a consenting and willing participant. Well, they're gonna have to prove that in court. Miss Grant was groomed and coerced by McMahon and Laurinaitis.
We agree on.
WWE stood by and facilitated efforts to keep Miss Grant employed by WWE and to ensure McMahon's continued sexual exploitation. Let me ask y'all a question, a serious question. Do you think she told anybody in the company? Because they're saying that the WWE continued to let it go on. Do you really think she told anybody? Just honestly, you think she told anybody of any power?
Well,
maybe not of any power, but people just she directly work with.
Right, because what the allegations say that she was being passed around with people in the company.
Yep.
So that would justify the reason that one of the defendants is the actual company in itself. So I mean, I don't think she necessarily told anybody. I just think people knew based on what Vince and Johnny Ace was doing.
Well, what I've learned from Vince McMahon is you can have a pizza shop, and if you have one of these situations, one of the things you could do is just give a gift certificate to your pizza shop because that's what your job is. Hey, that's what you do. I mean, hey, I happen to be a wrestler owner, so here's some WrestleMania tickets. Sheesh.
In January 2021, Ms. Grant sent a message to resident manager, so I guess where she was living, stating that she was miserable at WWE. I don't say it to Vince, but as grateful as I am for my job and my salary, I actually am miserable, mismanaged all the time. They admit they don't know what to do with me. Nobody gave a F about me when I was harassed and retaliated against, to the point my reputation was questioned and my work was taken away. All right. There was another, I think it was like page 50 something that I wanted to see. So let me ask this question. If okay, here it. Okay. Upon information and belief, this is page 51. Upon information and belief, numerous other independent contractors, employees, as well as executives and or board members within WWE knew of or suspected McMahon's misconduct involving Ms. Grant, including by being shown explicit photos of Ms. Grant by McMahon. McMahon directed a single attorney to negotiate the NDA on behalf of WWE and McMahon, for both parties to the agreement. So he had separate NDAs drawn up. McMahon's abuse of Ms. Grant did not come as a surprise to anyone at WWE because he faced numerous prior accusations of sexual misconduct. In '94, Rita Chatterton. In 2006, at the Palm Beach Post reported that McMahon had shown nude pictures of himself to a training booth attendant. A former spa manager at a California resort said McMahon assaulted her in 2011. To further illustrate knowledge of the culture of sexual misconduct in WWE, top-level executives not only failed to properly investigate abuse, but also compounded Ms. Grant's suffering by making public statements and trivializing the harm perpetrated on her. So this goes on and on. Again, the 67 pages, but we gonna let's put a bow on this. And I just asked this one question: does she take a settlement?
If it's big enough, yeah.
Yeah.
$10 million makes this go away?
No. Like you'll be silly to take $10 million for this. You have the potential to get a hell of a lot of more money than 10 million.
How much makes it go away?
It depends on how much Vince has. How much?
I mean, no, he is a legit billionaire. I mean, well, okay, let's look at it this way. Let's compare it to something more recently. Diddy gave Cassie what, 35 million?
Somewhere in that court. That.
So 50 million.
She won't get higher than Cassie though.
So the reason I'm asking this question though, because if money can make it go away, then what do you ultimately gain from this? Because he literally could say, hey, I paid her just because I didn't want to have to deal with it. Not that I'm admitting guilt, but I didn't want to have to deal with it. Because that's what Diddy did. That's what Diddy did.
Most oftentimes when they pay it, it's because they're guilty.
Yeah, well, I believe that, but the person could never say anything after the fact.
Right.
You said,
I mean, right now we're talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows details that he would have rather not be known. So, I mean, she kind of already did what she had to do. I think this is just the first little blow. I think she probably withholding other stuff. I don't think she led with her biggest stuff.
He still hasn't been proven guilty. And what I'm saying is, if you want to be the beacon of change and everything like that, do you see it through the end and let the chips fall where they may, or do you say, hey, I suffered enough, just pay me and I'll go away quietly? And then if you do that, has he won? That's all. Has he won?
Well, didn't that lady just warn against Donald Trump? She saw it all the way through, and look at the payout she got, $84 million.
Well, she got that based on defamation, though.
Again, altogether.
Right. We got to take in consideration. None of this is criminal. Like this is a civil deposition. So the goal is to get money. You know what I mean? Ultimately,
that's not kid herself.
Yeah. Nothing is criminal here. I'm not saying that it don't have the potential to be criminal, but as of right now, the goal is to get damages. So I would say upwards. I would say 30-40 million would be the goal.
Now remember, we started at 3 million, y'all. Let's just put that out there. We started at 3 million.
Right, and the only reason I say that is because it's just not one person involved. It's three entities. You got Vince, you got John Laurinaitis, and the WWE, which is owned by TKO. That's where the bulk of the money gonna come from.
Right, and as you say that, like, did you see Triple H in the Royal Rumble press conference? When asked point blank about this, what did Triple H say? Triple H says, "Oh, we don't want to be negative right now. We don't want to think about negative things."
Yeah, that was terrible. That was
the most craptastic answer to a question.
Yeah, that was terrible.
He could have came out and said, you know, the WWE does not condone the perceived actions or alleged actions of
he could have gave the
former
answer
boss.
Cody. He could have gave the answer Cody gave.
Well, there you go. Well, Cody is, you know, he's just great with talking in general.
And going back to the point that I made, again, if they're gonna argue legal commonality, other NDAs might open up. I'm gonna just tell you straight up.
Hey, there's a wrestler.
We might see other people, huh?
No, well, there's a wrestler that said his girlfriend or whatever was also assaulted. London, some
you talking about Ashley? What's her name, Trevor?
Mazzaro?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had been talking about that, and I saw a video where he was talking of, you know, just reacting to this thing that came out, and he was like, yeah, and more people need to come out. They probably look at this, and more people will come out as a result.
Well, other people will come out if these NDAs open up, and I'm telling you, this has the potential to have some big time names in him. If that happens, like the floodgates are open.
Oh my God! What if like an active roster member someone major is caught up in that. Like, what if like it's just not Brock Lesnar? It's like other people. Goodness gracious, people that you looked at highly. That would be crazy.
Well, well, Christopher Morales, Ashley would come out too, but she's dead. Yeah, she did die. Yeah. Way to bring the show down, Chris.
Bring the show down.
All right, fellas. So I think we done went through as much as we can go through.
Yes, we could.
It's almost 10 o'clock. We gave y'all 2 shows, 2 bangers on top of that. So hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm half-assing next Wednesday, just so you know. So hey man,
No, these were 2 good shows tonight, man. We had spirited debate, spirited talk about stuff, hashed out a lot of things. This is great stuff. I love it.
And just so y'all know, me and Venkat argue like this all the time. Me and Venkat, me and Mike, we always argue. So it's not like Swerve versus RVD is coming up now. Oh, great. They just kill me the way they're treating this guy. But anyway,
seems like Swerve is wrestling a lot of older wrestlers, right?
Yeah, and then he's going 50-50 with him. He's not just beating the brakes off of him. He's just going 50-50 with him. But yeah, man, I listen. A lot of this, everything I read straight from somewhere else. We add in what we want to add in, but it's there. The document is online. Everybody can go see it. So I actually implore that everybody do go look at it because there's some crazy stuff in there. So I hope everybody enjoyed, the 2 shows tonight, and just look forward to more stuff like this. As like I said, we're not any regular wrestling show, and Tate Fist Politics isn't any regular political show. Anybody could come on and just say politic. But the actual breaking down that they do is second to none. I keep telling y'all that. And nobody does a better wrestling show than us. Nobody. I don't care who it is. Nobody. And I listen to them all. Nobody. Because while they're breaking down headlocks and chin locks, we actually taking you into the psychology of things. So that's how that is. So I'm done though, because I got a show tomorrow night. I got a show Friday night. Then I found out I'm going to a comedy show on Saturday night, and man, I got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm done, fellas. Y'all want to give your final thoughts, and we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep, man. I ain't got nothing.
Hey, man. Yeah, the political prophet, man. Political prophet
amongst men.
Yeah, we done freed him. He's free now. So we, even though he the main troll over on Man Talk Monday, he's free now. So he's political prophet. Because boy, if MD and Kev, like, I feel like they get together before the show, like, yeah, man, we're gonna say this, it's crazy.
I got you, man. All right, y'all. Peace here, bro.
All right, MD.
Peace, MD.
Peace.
Oh man. And we got infiltrated tonight by Tate Fist Politics. Ricardo ain't never been on a Wrestling with Reality panel, so we definitely appreciate Ricardo coming on. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you this: the guy that's trolling me under all these phone numbers and stuff, I appreciate you listening to the show too, because what you don't realize is you're constantly increasing all my watch hours. So I mean, you're helping me more than what you think you're doing. So I mean, I appreciate that. If you drop a couple bucks in the tip jar, that'll be even better. Like you said you were going to a couple of months ago. Like, I don't know who this is. Come on, I know who this is. But yeah, man, Ricardo, I appreciate you for coming through.
No problem, man. No problem.
See you next week, Ricardo.
See you next week.
All right.
Oh, man.
Peace, Trevor. Peace, Ricardo.
All right, Venkat. Oh man, there you have it. Straight Talk Society, another fantastic 2 shows of Wrestling with Reality. Man, hey, I went long. As y'all do see, I do have on the gray Straight Talk Society t-shirt. We will be selling these very, 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 very soon. I just wanted to see what the gray one was going to look like. So there you have there Bailey getting jumped Friday night. Yeah. See, Chris, I think they'll probably do it closer to Elimination Chamber because they don't want to just they still got like 2 months before Mania, so they don't want to end this, they don't want to jump the story too long unless they may have to turn her now and then have her go through Damage Control. So she go through Asuka, go through not EO would be last, but go through Kyrie, so maybe they do that, but I know it's coming soon. So we finally gonna get the Hugger Bailey back. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody who came through, man. Thanks for watching the show. Please make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I think we got like 60 new subscribers over the past 2 weeks, man. So I do appreciate that. Hey, just keep tuning in, man. We got a lot of great things coming up. Like I said, the MMA brothers are doing their version of Pardon the Interruption, entitled five rounds with the MMA brothers. I'm really looking forward to that show. I just think that's going to be great because those guys, actually, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of their show. That is the first show I ever did live on this channel, was the UFC Gone versus John Jones. So actually the first show ever done live on this channel was by the MMA brothers before I named them that. So and now that they're on their year, I mean, they're gonna have to start doing their own thing. So that's why we're not gonna do it Saturday, because I want them to get their own stuff together, so they can have the slideshow for you and everything like that. This is all good. Hey man, Bones, no problem. It's all good. I want them to. So I like to teach people how to do things. My wife taught me how to use Canva. Now I use Canva for everything. That's how I make these busting thumbnails and things like that. So I'm gonna teach Bones and Zay how to use it so they could do all their editing and stuff like that in there, and we'd be good to go. And that way I have one less thing to do, because I got so much. Mama Pam, good morning and blessings, Mama Pam. Hello to the chat. Mama Pam, you should have been here a little earlier. You're a little late, but I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, man, we just doing the thing. Tomorrow night you will have the debate, Reginald Young versus Jeremy Dunbar. I'm very, 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 very interested in that. Yeah, Ricardo, take care of that. If Ricardo, take care of that. If you in here, I don't care about Mama Pam's OnlyFans. Man, where these people be counting? Where these people come from? But yeah, we got a debate tomorrow night, Reginald Young versus Jeremy Dunbar. Then we got another one the next night, a rare Friday debate. Stacey Mobley. I will say this: Stacey Mobley and Reginald are the co-champions for 2024. I mean 2023. I'll go ahead and say that. They were the 2 undefeated debaters, so they are the champions, co-champions of 2023. So that should tick some people off. But you got some young gunners just like coming at their heads, because I'm telling you, this Jeremy Dunbar, I haven't heard him debate before, but they just in phone conversations and the way he came and came after Reggie on that panel, I cannot wait for tomorrow, because I know they are going to go at it. And then Stacey and Wayne have their match that was postponed from last week. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through. You got 2 episodes from us tonight. I did a lot of talking, but hey, that's what I do. So peace to everybody, man. Peace to all the newcomers. Hey, even the haters, man. I don't love you, but just keep watching the show so the watch hours keep going up. With all that being said, I leave you with these words: always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. Until tomorrow night, peace.
And the bitch
Now the whole world can acknowledge me.
You'll get the shit. You'll be knee deep in the shit.
Brother, I'm gonna take you home.
What?
You're gonna be mine. You're about to be mine.